We follow Bibarel with another classic in-game Pokemon from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. This time we move in the more musical direction of Kricketune. It possesses both a wonderfully inspired creative design and one of the greatest cries in the game, making it one of Generation 4's most charming additions, bolstering further by its adorable pre-evolution, Kricketot. However, the competitive scene is another story entirely. If in-game is the light, breezy, musical joyride of Mary Poppins, the competitive scene is the harsh, unrelenting oral assault of Whiplash. Today, we'll examine if the many symbols and chairs the competitive scene threw at Kricketune's head were able to push it to success. And so, we ask, how good was Kricketune actually? And in this video, we'll be going over these competitive formats. Kricketune's base stat total is stunningly low. At 384, it is one of the lowest in the game and sits 1 point lower than Dustox of all things. Every Pokemon has flaws, but Kricketune takes it to a new level. In addition to its weakness-laden mono bug typing, it is slow, incredibly frail, and though its base 85 attack isn't bad, it's not very strong either, especially with the limited coverage and unimpressive power of X-Scissor as a stab move. While its coverage options of Brick Break, Night Slash, and Return weren't exactly paragons of power either. Sure, it had Swords Dance to boost its attack, but it was far too weak and frail to ever use it effectively. Kricketune was outclassed entirely by Beedrill, who was already unable to find any sort of meaningful niche and therefore usage even all the way down in NU. And so, nobody ever spared Kricketune a competitive thought. To use another musical analogy, Kricketune was like if your friend was in band and they did some covers of songs you liked, like covers that varied in quality from mediocre to pretty good. You didn't mind going to see the band live at your local bar or whatever. It was fun. That was in game. However, when it came to your own personal listening, you would never listen to your friend's band's recordings of the songs, no matter how much you liked them. You'd rather listen to the actual original versions of the songs. That was competitive. That was also a perfect analogy. It's best if you imagine Mr. Krabs playing the world's smallest violin at this point, because if you're familiar with this channel, then you know what happens to Pokemon that start out badly in the competitive world. Usually they are barely given anything by Game Freak, and the few additions they do receive, while not bad in and of themselves, are nowhere near enough to lift a terrible Pokemon out of the obscurity it previously toiled in. They may as well have not been given anything at all. Generation 5's Dream World distributed many hidden abilities, which vaulted previously mediocre Pokemon to stardom. Kricketune was not so fortunate. Technician is a great ability, and sure, it was nice to get a more powerful Bug Stab and Bug Bite, but it did nothing to solve Kricketune's many other, far more debilitating flaws, which it received nothing for. If you were going to use Kricketune in the competitive scene, you may as well have just given it Perish Song, which would have been a grandiose, fitting artistic statement on the impossibility of getting Kricketune to do anything but faint, and would also come off as ironic and self-aware, so your opponent would think you were hilarious and might forfeit. Maybe provided Kricketune wasn't KO'd before it even got a chance to use the move. If it wasn't clear already, Kricketune was once again never used even anywhere. The only difference was that this time it fell to untiered. Kricketune actually got buffs in Generation 6, and meaningful buffs at that. It received its own entry hazard, the brand new, minimally distributed, potentially game-changing Sticky Web. It was never going to break into the high tiers, but it also received some indirect help in the form of a new lowest tier, PU. It even enjoyed the buffing of Knockoff, and it could pair this with other options such as Taunt and Endeavor to potentially really irritate the opposing team. It was set to finally bring its team tangible utility. Was this finally going to be Kricketune's time? Sadly, no. Even all the way down in PU, Kricketune was unable to find a niche. There was at least some grace in this though. It was not because it was a bad web setter in and of itself, but it was not as good as setting webs as the tier's other options, and was unable to meaningfully distinguish itself from them in other ways. Sticky Web was notable for mostly being given to bad Pokemon, several of which wound up in PU, and which were better web setters than Kricketune. Leavanny was the premier choice thanks to its great speed, attacking stats, grass stab, and utility move pool with great options like Magic Coat. Smeargle was another vastly superior choice to Kricketune thanks to its higher speed and endless move pool, which notably included sleep moves and other entry hazards. This Cricket couldn't carry a Sticky Web tune to save its life, at least compared to the efficiency of the metagame's staple options, and one would just be unnecessarily hindering themselves by choosing to use it. As such, nobody did, and Kricketune once again fell to untiered. Generation 7 came and Kricketune was still singing the same tired old song of complete unviability, even all the way down in PU, a metagame that had undergone immense power creep in the generational shift, while Kricketune received a big pile of nothing. It was once again outclassed as a Sticky Web user by Smeargle, while Shuckle joined the fray and was a far better choice as well. There's nothing else that could really be said for it. Kricketune was one of the worst Pokemon in the game and notched its third consecutive untiered placement as a result. And that's it. So how bad was Kricketune actually? As a competitive choice, it is basically a non-entity. It offers nothing of value and has quite literally never seen any sort of serious usage in any singles metagame, or really any usage at all, since it's one of a seemingly endless array of bad bug types and is thus ridiculously forgettable. As awesome as its design is, it's never been given any sort of competitive break and couldn't even find a niche as a sticky web setter in PU. We sincerely hope that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl do something to rectify this. Please, Game Freak, just push its base stat total to 400 and give it some new moves. It's not a lot to ask for, a little goes a long way, and Kricketune deserves it. Let it sing a happy song. Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, if you liked the video and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe to False White Gaming for more weekly Pokemon content. And in the comments, I want to know, what do you think about competitive Kricketune? Give it whatever buff you want, I'm curious. What do you think it needs to even touch NU? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments. Also, thank you so much to our patrons for continued support of our videos, and thank you to everyone else watching as well. And follow my crew on these social media platforms. And that's all I got. See you next time, everyone.